Wasn't that an epic game? Since the beginning, TSL has been pushing their lines to the limits with such a small closed off area to cap. Ryan was super effective on this first point. What amazes me the most is that even with 2 hit scan characters, TCS still wasn't able to take down the Pharah. It's quite impressive to see such coordination from the Sharpened Lions using Pharah as a distraction for the hit scan. So Michael's on headshots them with Widowmaker. Widow got easy picks early game, while the enemies were not focusing on the ground targets. Lucio pushing off the targets which were focusing Pharah, and if ever their team were focusing any other character than Pharah, Pharah made her appearance known, pops out of nowhere and says, "Hey, you didn't forget about me, right?" The Rhine was amazing on TSL in that first match. There wasn't a second where his shield wasn't up. I was kind of expecting a Reaper to be picked to melt the tanks, but then Byronimo would have had an easier time multi-killing with Pharah. What a great thing the Sharpened Lions had going on this round. The positioning of D.Va hiding in the corner next to the enemy side of the point in order to get some close-up shot blasts and still have her thruster pack was seriously a great decision. Props to Wolf Costa for that amazing idea. With the combo of damage and utilities such as traps that Junkrat has and the junk mines on their side, there was no doubt that they take a flawless first round. In the second round, I think one of the biggest mistakes the Crystallized Skulls made was not swapping any other characters other than their soldier, who was hit scan in the first round, and Zenyatta for heals instead of Moira. Even though the composition of the Sharpened Lions won them the first round, they still made minor adjustments for the second control point. The Widow switched to play some Junkrat because they noticed this was more of a closed off point near the edges than the previous one, making Junkrat an optimal decision. Byronimo playing Pharah got his ult very early in this match and decided to use it to contest and prevent the point from being captured by the enemy, as the enemies got on it. However, TCS noticed the enemy Pharah wasn't doing enough damage to kill them when she was stacking her ult on them, because their heals were at great strength in this point of the match. That's how Pharah got her ult so early. However, they went straight for the shutdown because they knew they were feeding her some ult charge by focusing others and letting her hit them multiple times. TCS's Sombra thought she was able to engage on the one pick her team got, so she EMPs in order to get in point. However, shortly after dies because her team was not there and were further on in the back lines of point. Michael Zom noticed his team now had the advantage and switches back to Widowmaker to keep them out of the points range. He hit some pretty amazing headshots and even headshotted a Lucio mid-jump. Aero Titanium switches to Orisa couldn't have been at a better time. Comboing with the Lucio ult, the Crystallized Skulls successfully push onto the point and cap it in a matter of seconds. Shout out to KSG for pushing more than 3 enemies off point with Lucio's gun blast in a short amount of time. He was what won them the point. D.Va countered the Lucio coming too close by activating her self-destruct, and as the Sharpened Lions applied force on the Orisa barrier, TCS's Lucio wasn't sure it was going to hold, so he tries to run off point by stepping out of the Orisa's barrier's range. For just a second, however, that second had too much disturbances for the Lucio, so he died a brutal death, just something that the Sharpened Lions baited. Good play, guys. It's as if they stopped shooting the barrier when the Lucio ran away from it. They used this as a bait to force them off point, and it worked. The only reason Orisa stayed and fought was because Arrow knew Orisa was too slow of a character to evacuate her. This scare was enough to make KSG through Lucio run away from Zen's tranquility and caused him to get knocked off point and into the open by Reinhardt's hammer for then the D.Va ult to hit Lucio. What a great series of attacks. What came next just blew me away. Ms. Bay had no hesitation to use Earth Shatter to counter McCree's ultimate. He took into consideration the damage a charge shot from McCree would do, so he smacked his hammer down with all his might, stunning and killing the McCree in the last few seconds of the match. And if that wasn't enough, the few seconds before the match ends, Ryan's Demon used Lucio as a distraction for the Crystallized Skulls engage to get the focus off the objective, and even had an ultimate he saved just in case he needed to buy his team some more time.
Round 1, capture.
Round 3 is where the Crystallized Skulls swap DPS tank and healers from the role that they have originally been in for the past 2 rounds for a fresh start for round 3. Knowing what comp to prepare for, they added Tracer and Roadhog to the roster. KSG gets focused in a Tracer vs Tracer fight. Nerf Disc goes in for the early res, and they pick off the enemy Tracer as punishment for her overextending. The Crystallized Skulls had zero problem with Widow due to the fact that they picked her off twice early game. Cobalt comes in with the amazing 3-man tactical visor, while being damage boosted by Mercy helped them steal back point mid game. Michael noticed he had to change something up already after being picked 2 times. He goes Junkrat once more. KSG gets shut down by Hog's Hook, but then makes up for it. Tracer speeds back to the point and takes out Riptire as soon as it was activated. Nice play, KSG, good on you. Kulak helps out his team members, outlast Cobalt's tactical visor with Lucio. Early round 4, Mezbe gets 2 hooks and pulls them both into the hole. Fortunately for TCS, their Lucio was able to escape it. From that end, Mezbe taking all the team damage with Roadhog in the final round. That's all she wrote, guys.
Victory.